Yo, what's going on, man? This is the BeBall Jones podcast. I am simply a basketball trainer with a basketball podcast. My goal is to present the game to you from a different angle, educate you with a unique perspective, and also change your mindset along the way. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into the episode of the BeBall Jones podcast. Of course, I'm your boy B, and we have a special guest right here. So, co-host right here. How you doing, Miss Ashley?
I'm good. How are you?
Can't complain, man. Everything's good. It's basketball season. It's the most
Hey,
wonderful time of the year. Like it's here. Like
October in general is the best month for sports, in my opinion. So I'm super excited.
yeah, because it's a lot going on. You feel me? Footballs, and if that's your thing, I'll do football. I'll keep it over there. Baseball's going on too. Y'all can have that too. So whatever. But basketball, the
Hockey,
kickoff of basketball,
soccer.
hockey.
You got the WNBA championships, Formula One
Yep.
racing, gymnastics. Like it's crazy right now.
Mm-hmm. So October is a very busy year, but the pinnacle of it all is the kickoff of NBA season, and
Yep.
that's what we're here to talk about today. You feel me? Like it's the beginning of the best time of the year. The duration from October until June, it's like amazing. The best time of the year. Besides like summertime Olympics, that's
Which is
probably
going to
like
be right after the season.
exactly. So it's just a lot going on here at basketball time. So we're just gonna get into how the Celtics gonna win this championship this year. We're gonna break that down for an entire hour for you guys. I don't know why she put that face. It's okay. We talked about it. We agree. I agree, but I speak for her right now, so it's all good. But no, so what are you thinking about for this year? What are you looking out for
I
as
don't
your
think the
projections to it?
Celtics are going to win.
You can be
I
wrong. It's fine.
don't know. But I think it's going to be a good season. I think there have been some good moves this offseason that are going to make it fun if the team's mates can come together properly, obviously.
Hmm.
I'm I'm a Laker fan, so I'm always hoping that the Lakers keep it together, get it together, do what they need to do. LeBron is really fighting to extend his career to be able to play with his son next year, potentially the year after. But to do that, the Lakers gotta continue to be good. So,
Yeah.
hopefully they can pull it together this year. Do I think they're going to win the championship? Probably not.
Mm.
But I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you know now they're not. So it's okay. Spoiler alert. Um, of course, being a Celtics guys, you guys can all see and tell. If you're listening to this on audio, just go, hop over YouTube. You see, I got my Celtics hat on, just repping my team. But yeah, I think we're going to win the championship. Being unbiased, um, purely objectively speaking. No, no, now I am. Like, let me take
Wait,
the Celtics hat
hold
off
on,
real quick.
run by. Got it.
Yeah, but now speaking non-biasedly, I think we do have a really good shot. I think the Marcus Smart trade hurt a little bit, but when you get Drew Holiday, it's kind of an upgrade for me personally. Like it's offensively speaking, you have a very solid PG. You're not gonna have the debacle we had against the Bucks with Drew Holiday. That bothers me because it's Marcus Smart's fault. I shouldn't have mentioned that. I'm bothered, but you don't have that issue because Drew Holiday is a solid PG. Like the issue is a Smart thing, and Smart's not a natural born PG. He's a playmaker, but he's not a PG by heart. So that gets fixed with having Drew here versus Smart. I didn't love the Robert Williams trade. Hurt me a little bit to see that, but KP is a good filler. He's a better offensive talent, and the Celtics are pushing for more win now, so I'm not mad about it. And I think we have a good guard lineup, and we got plenty of wings to back up JT and JB. So it comes down to being healthy and figuring out if those two can finally coexist and not just be there together. So that's my biggest concern. Can they actually play together and mesh well versus just your turn, my turn, or you do your thing and I'm gonna just be here kind of hoping for the best. So if
That's
we
the
can get
biggest
that
issue
together.
with super teams is can they actually play together?
Hmm.
I mean, it sounds good on paper. We'll see how it goes during the season.
Yeah. Speaking of super teams, the one biggest splash I think we had was the Suns with Bradley Beal hopping over there.
over with Katie and
and Book.
Devin Booker.
Hmm.
I mean, I think again, on paper it sounds great. The Suns organization in general, I don't know why they continually choke. Uh, I don't know what's going on there. They will have the most stacked roster, kill it all season long, and make it to the playoffs, and they act like they've never been there before, mostly because they haven't. So I think Katie is tired of people talking. Devin Booker is tired of people talking. I mean, he had Bad Bunny coming for him last season. So I think they're going to be locked in. Feels a great addition.
Hmm.
Can they beat the Nuggets? We'll see. We'll see. Can they beat the Warriors? We'll see.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think the Suns are going to be really good this year. Not that they weren't good the last couple of years, but I think they could sustain it a little better this year.
My
The
only
West,
question for them is, I say my only question for them is who's going to be the playmaker or the PG for them to kind of like, because I don't like when people say it's only one basketball. Like obviously, like come on guys, like none of those guys are selfish players, so it's not going to be an issue of ball hogging. It's just more of an issue of how can we all maintain a level of greatness without stepping on each other's toes. That's the issue, a question that they have to have. It's not like back in the day when you had ball hawk players who were just like, I'm getting my buckets by any means. I don't care what you do. No, these guys are like, KD just want to hoop. Book just want to hoop. Bill just
yep,
wants to hoop. So if you drop 30 and we win, cool. I have
yep.
an issue if we're losing now. That's when you start to see the ball hawk stuff. But they just want to ball and like win. So, but how are you going to get the rest of the team involved and make sure that they're not falling off and make sure they're staying engaged? And how do you make sure the job's easier to make sure like K don't have to work? I know it's gonna be like easy because you have Bill there and whatever, but you still want to give him an effortless 15, and he has fun with the last 15 versus the
Having to work.
complicated 20. Yeah, having to work for it a little bit more. So that's what Chris Paul came and it's like, bruh, you just stay on the court and I'm gonna hit you. Like that's all you gotta do. So who's gonna be the one to get the rest of the team involved? Hmm.
The rest of them are going to have to step up. Like they can't solely rely on Booker and Katie and Beal. That's not going to work. It's not sustainable. They've been dealing with injuries, especially Katie, on and off, on and off. So you don't want him. I hate to say he's getting older. Katie's what, 36 now? No,
I think
34?
35, I think 34, 35.
Somewhere in there, right? Somewhere in there. But he's getting old for basketball. So we got to make sure Katie stays healthy. Booker's going to have to lead. And Bill's going to have to, like you said, pick up for KD. I mean, not KD, for Chris Paul. We'll see. With some new coaching as well. Sprinkle that on top.
Yeah, that's a lot of big changes for him.
Yeah.
You got a lot of other new pieces on there too. Um, they don't really have like a true PG right now, so I hope they're not done making changes. Like everybody's a wing from what I'm looking at right now. Grayson Allen is a point guard, relatively. It's really a two. You got Bobo, a new addition. I like him a lot. Um, Eric Gordon. They don't really have a PG, and they don't even have like a real playmaker on the team. They just get everybody involved. So I hope they make another move if I'm a Suns fan to get somebody else on there. But it's gonna be interesting. I think for right now, probably Bill or Books will probably take a little bit more of the point guard role, the ball handling role. But I think the actual assist will probably come from KD if I had to bet. Like he's probably gonna be like the point guard as far as making the assist. But bringing the ball to the court would be between Brad and Book.
Oh, 100%. 100%. We'll see what happens. And we'll see, like, about load management with the new changing in policies and all of that as well. Will
Yeah.
KD play a full season?
At this point, I wouldn't care. I would just like for him to be healthy enough, and when playoff time comes, that's when I need you.
Be ready.
Yeah,
Playoff
cause
kitty's
he.
fun to watch.
Oh yeah, that's. I think if you take away like the negativity around him moving, he still has to be one of the most fun players to watch. Like the way he gets buckets, it's just like, bro, come on, man. Like how? Like I still question how he gets stuff off. I know he's like 7 foot, but I'm still like, bro, that's not fair. Like
He makes it look way too easy, even for
yes,
the height. You're like, cheat code.
exactly. So. But that's what Wemby comes in. It's like looking at him, it's like that's disgusting. Like, how are you that tall and that effortlessly moving?
Oh,
Like,
who was it? It was like a couple of nights ago when he dunked over somebody. It didn't even look like
yeah,
he left the ground.
yeah,
Like I rewatched it a few times and I'm like, your arm just expands like that.
hmm
I was laughing because a bunch of the comments were like, what in the Space Jam is happening? Because that's how it felt. So it's gonna be interesting to see him out there as well. Like this rookie with all this hype around him, living in San Antonio, he's everywhere.
mm.
Everywhere. There's a skeleton of him around the corner from my house. So
I mean, he's not too far from the real thing. I mean, he's kind of.
well, it's funny because they got all these like miniature skeletons, and then one that's like 2 feet taller than all the other ones, and then they're wearing that jersey. So
Mm.
to make it clear, like don't be confused, he's above average.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be very fun to watch. My thing, I want to see him against like Anthony Davis, Greek Freak, and the peers that we kind of compare him to. Like, how does
Yeah.
he look against those guys? Like, matchup against Chet was interesting because that's a peer he has. It's like, all right, unicorn type of player, the tall, lanky,
Mhm.
Katie prototype of guys that can get buckets as 6'10" plus guys. So I want to see how he match up against the vets really, and just like, okay, let's see how you do with the big dog world.
It's going to be interesting, especially with all the pressure on him this season. I'm really excited to see not only what he does for like San Antonio as a team, as an organization who are by far tired of losing because they're not used to it.
Hmm
Um, it's going to be interesting to watch how he deals with the pressure that's about like on him right now. We see him in interviews. It's kind of like sometimes he's like, I don't really care. And other times he's like, I'm just a rookie. Like, I'm
hmm
just a kid. And so um, I'm looking forward to see how he handles all this pressure because he can rise to the occasion or he can kind of end up like Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I think from he's saying all the right things. I think there is a level of media training for him for sure, but I
Oh,
think more of that is him. Like it's hard to fake it for so long. Like we'll see how real it is, but at some point it's like he would have shown a crack to be like, kind of contradicting yourself a little bit here, kind of talking back and forth here. But I think he has a good perspective. He has good people around him that's able to like keep him centered enough to where he's coming through with the right message of everything he's saying.
I think it benefits, and we see it with a lot of our international players not growing up in the United States. Like not being around the NBA hype. Yeah, they're seeing it from a distance and they know what's happening, but they're not in the thick of it. They're not seeing the fandom on the ground. And I think that helps them come in a little bit more level headed. Because
Hmm
you look at like Giannis interviews or KP interviews, and you're seeing a whole different perspective on the game and on the pressure than you see with American born players.
hmm I think Joker's the most
Oh,
interesting
yeah. He don't
because
care.
at
This
all.
is his 9 to 5,
Yeah.
basically. Did you see the video of him first day back at training camp? He
Mm.
looked so annoyed, like y'all ruined my summer vacation for this. Oh yeah, it was media day, and he was just like I'm over it. I want to go back home.
Yeah.
Even at the parade, he was like, "Can we wrap this up? I'm ready. I got other things to do."
I
It's
gotta go
just
back to my country and deal with my farm, man. What y'all doing, man? Like,
he's like, "This is part time. I have other responsibilities."
yeah. But he's so interesting because he gives off like he doesn't care,
He
but
cares.
I mean he cares, but I think it's like he cares from a level of excellence to whatever he does. So I'm an NBA player. I'm gonna be the best NBA player. But
Mm-hmm.
while I'm here, that's all you get. Like like 9 to 5, once 5 o'clock hits, do not ask me anything after 5:01. I am gone. I'm going back to my country. I'm
Yeah,
being just Nicola. Forget the NBA player, forget the fame. I'm gonna take my money, I'm gonna work on my farm, be with my brothers, and we chilling.
he has
He
that
doesn't care about
balance.
himself.
They
Yeah.
even asked him. They're like, "Did you even touch a basketball in this off season?" He was like, "A couple of times."
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm not exactly. I want to go to my farm. I want to hang out in my home country, be with my family. You got me all season. We did our
Hmm.
thing, and now let me rest.
Yeah. It's funny to see that, man, because we're so caught up in the American culture, which is a gift and a curse.
Go. Yep.
Yeah, and he has. I think that's kind of refreshing. We do need a sprinkle of that in our culture of like take a step away from basketball. It's okay. At every level, it's okay to like not be a basketball player 24/7.
I tell my
It's
athletes that all the time. I'm like, when you get a break, don't think about the sport for a week. If it's
mhm,
summer vacation, give yourself a couple of like weeks off, relax, rest your body, do something else, have other hobbies.
yeah.
It makes it when you get back to it a little bit more enjoyable. You don't burn out that way.
I think about that a lot. If you take a break from something like that and you don't have the hunger to get back into it, it might be a sign, you know? It might be a
That's
thing that,
true.
okay, you don't love it like you thought you did. And I think that's fine. Like we need to
Yeah.
have that's it for awareness. Like, I don't love basketball. Like, bro, I don't love hooping like, as much as I used to.
And that's
Cool.
okay. But also when you do love it, just like step back, reevaluate, recheck in on your goals, let your body rest for a minute,
Hmm.
and that's okay. Like that's part of the cycle. We forget that. Like seasons exist for a reason.
Hmm. Yeah. So I think we need to be more like Joker and just take a
Yeah.
break sometimes and just
Let it be your 9 to 5.
let it be a 9 to 5. You feel me? Like it's okay. Once you clock out in well, it's different. He clocked out in June, but whenever you clock out for your season, just enjoy life a little bit. You got a lot of money. Go on vacation a little bit. You feel me? Go
Hey,
go take a trip out of town, out the country. You got the money. Just buy a little passport. Make sure your behind the scenes stuff good, and you gone. Like
yeah, go explore.
if not, just give me the money and I'll show you what you could have did. It's fine. It's called good.
I'll explore for you.
I
Yeah.
promise.
But
I'll take pictures. I don't take pictures in general, but I'll take pictures for you. Be like, hey, I went here. I did this. Take a video too. Like this, is what you could have had. That's
hey,
it.
I got proof.
It doesn't matter that you're a beginner and you're just starting. That's not an excuse. Or like the fact that you started in seventh or eighth grade hooping doesn't mean that you like can't get better and play catch up. Like no. So I need you to do one thing for me. Okay. Focus on you. All right. Stay in your lane and make every day a battle of you versus you. So you have to be better than how you were yesterday. Doesn't matter how much you fumbling, bumbling around, doesn't matter. So you need to like check yourself, breathe for a second, and go work out and just go get better. But wait, before you go, grab you a t-shirt as a reminder that progress is on the goal. Speaking of Greek Freak, I think his team and the Bucks, they have a very
Game.
I'm a Dame guy. Him and Westbrook are like my favorite like players. So
You
it
can't hate on
it
Dan. You
it bothered me he went to the Bucks. Oh, I love Dame. That's my guy. It
can't.
bothered me he went to the Bucks because my cousin is a Greek Freak fan. I like to mess with him a lot when stuff happens. Now I can't because I have to root for the Bucks. I'm just like, come on, Dame. Like of all the teams,
Oh, you're rooting against the Celtics, is what you're telling me.
I didn't say that at all.
I mean, they're in the same conference.
That is very true. If I had to pick, I'm going Celtics. It's Celtics all day. It's my
I'm like,
priorities are in order. My priorities are in order. I'm team first, then it's players. Okay.
okay, checking, just checking.
So if the Celtics somehow magically don't make it, but Dame is in position, it's Dame. It's easy.
Dang. I'm happy for him. I know that's not
Yeah.
where he wanted to go, but I hope it works out for him.
Yeah, but I think him and Giannis are disgusting. Man. Like nobody thought that was coming, but I think that's a disgusting matchup.
As long as they can mesh.
Why wouldn't they mesh?
I just, when you get two big names that are used to being on their own, it takes a minute to adjust. And I'm
Hmm.
not saying that they won't connect, but I don't think we can expect it immediately game one to be
Yeah.
a highlight reel. It's going to take some time for them to get used to each other, get used to the dynamic, sharing being the number one spot on the team. It's just going to take a minute to adjust, but I think it'll be all right.
I think the biggest adjustment, honestly, is not gonna be those two. It's gonna be Chris Middleton.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're getting the ball, you're going
Somebody
to be
else?
a third wheel, and
Yep.
somebody just took all, or at least most of your touches.
Yep.
you got to figure out how you can still be effective with less touches. Like you got to go back
You have
to
to play your role.
pre All Star Chris Middleton now. Like how can I score with the limited touches I have now? So how do I take this skill level that I have up here and go back to these touches? Like that's the dynamic that Chris Bosh and Kevin Love fell into as being the third wheel in that big three. So
And not
it's
everybody can
tough.
do that.
I think that's underrated on doing that part. Cause you think, oh, I just easy. All you gotta do is X, Y, and Z. It's like, no, bro. Like, you catch the rhythm for the first three touches, but all you get is three touches in this quarter.
You got to
You
make
got
it every
you gotta
single
make
time.
yeah. So I don't think some fans don't understand. Like, bruh, every rep matters now. Every attempt matters now because you can't waste it. Like Giannis and Dame, they can blow off the first five and still pull off 30.
Giannis and Dame. And
You're not
Giannis
gonna tell them though.
take his extension. So this is going to be a important season for the Bucks.
He been saying that. He's like, yo, all this stuff is cool. Even when Dame came, like, okay, that's cool. But if championship is not looking like it's coming, I'm going. So we better figure
Which
something
is
out.
very different from him. He's rocking with Milwaukee.
Hmm.
So something's happened in the last couple of years where he's like, "No, I'm good. I'm out." Like you don't uphold your end of the bargain, organization. I got you your championship, and I'm out.
Yeah, I think that's what it
Two
was. Well,
MVPs,
part of it.
like
I think.
LeBron in Cleveland. I
Yeah.
got you a chip, and then immediately pieced out.
Hmm.
Giannis stayed a little bit longer, but yeah,
I think he wants to stay though,
I do
more than
too.
LeBron.
I
I
do
think
too.
LeBron got caught up in. I don't say caught up, but he liked the allure of LA too
The
much to just say
opportunities.
it. Yeah, and of course,
I think
wifey.
I think it's more similar to Dame. Like he gave it his all for how many years, and it just wasn't getting better. Wasn't getting better. It's almost
Hmm.
like the definition of insanity, right? Like keep doing the same thing over again, expecting different results. He had to switch it up, and I know he has like family stuff going on too, which probably impacted him wanting to leave.
Yeah,
But you got to switch it up.
yeah.
It would have
But
been crazy though if he went to Miami. That would have been wild. Him and Jimmy buckets,
when I tell you that would have been a match made in heaven for Dame, and that would have been like, bro,
and
because
apparently Portland wouldn't let him go just out of like being petty because he asked to leave.
yeah. And then remember he sat tried to rescind the trade. They was like, nah, bro, you gone. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
right. You asked to leave. Now you out. Now we don't want you no more.
And it sounds bad, but I think about it. I might be the same type of guy. Like, bro, you just asked out. We're still cool, but you just asked out of all this. But I don't know behind the
You
scenes enough.
know, it's all business at the end of the day. And like that's something I've always known, but when Sacramento, I grew up in Sacramento. When Sacramento traded DeMarcus Cousins, that was the moment when I really like it clicked in my head how much business it really was. And players, like at the end of the day, players get to make those choices too. They get to be a part of the business. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I feel like I really feel like there was something behind the scenes that happened that of course Dame's not going to say, and of course the Trailblazers are going to say because it probably fell in their lap of what happened.
Oh
So
yeah.
in a couple of years, we'll find out the truth of what happened. He gonna be. I'm gonna sit down with him on the podcast and be like, "Yo,
What
what
happened? Why
happened,
did
bro?
you leave Portland? But
Why'd
like
you
I
leave,
said,
man?"
it could have been, I mean, I'm sure it's some of the organization stuff, them not getting people to help, but it's probably also some of the family stuff.
Yeah. So I think it's crazy that his loyalty lasted that long
Right.
because I wondered at what point did he actually believe they had a championship contender team? Like any roster that he had from rookie year to him leaving, what roster did he see to be like, I think we can compete with the Heat here, with the Warriors here? Like, did he honestly think like we have a shot at the championship? We could beat the Heat, the Cavs, the Warriors, whoever. Like, did he really think that?
Maybe they just kept telling him, like, next season we'll get somebody, next season we'll get you some help. And next season never came because it's not like he ever like just gave up or like laid off. He gave everything he had to him. So I feel like
Hmm.
they were telling him something and then just not backing it.
Yeah. But I think I saw some interview and he was like, "Nah, me and the ownership have a good relationship and
Yeah.
they're telling me, we're trying X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, all right, bro. If you say it, I'm rocking with you, man. But that trade deadline, you still make some things move. Like you can get up out of there, man. Like I want you to get a ring, but Portland might not be it for you, man. So it's tough. It's tough. But I'm happy he's moved on and he is on a championship contender. Just wish it wasn't Milwaukee Bucks. It's no shade though, but
I think it. I mean, it easily will probably be him and them and the Celtics going out
yeah, yeah.
in
I
the
think
East
they,
anyways.
yeah, I think they have the. Both teams have the most hands down obvious course. My sleeper team, which not necessarily sleepy anymore.
Miami.
We had, yeah. Like, I think Miami's going to be my. Like, I consider them and the Spurs in the same. Well, the old Spurs, not
I
these
was
Spurs.
like, the Spurs. Don't get ahead of yourself.
The old Spurs. Well, you just can't count them out. Like every year,
Tim
you
Duncan
got
Spurs.
the Tim Duncan Spurs, Tony Ginobili, Bruce
Yeah,
Bowen, Kawhi, all them.
legendary. Yeah,
Yeah, the classic Spurs.
Spurs.
Um, the Heat, I've kind of taken that mantle of like you can't leave them out. They might not actually win it, but you can't just leave them out of discussion. Like you have to mention them. Like, hey, who got championship? A, B, C, D, maybe the Spurs, and now the Heat kind of take that spot. Like you just
Yeah,
have to mention them. They might not
that's
actually win it, but you have to mention them. So
they can
that's
at
my
least
sleeper.
make it to the finals.
Yeah,
They can
because
make
it's
it out
pretty
the
much the same
East.
team. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they can make it out the East. I mean, a lot of the moves the East made is to stop the Spurs. They won't say it. I mean, the Spurs, Miami, they won't say it, but it's stop Miami.
Mhm. I think Miami though the issue with them was they didn't have enough firepower outside of Jimmy or consistent firepower because Hero was hurt, Lowry was aging, Duncan Robinson wasn't hitting, Bam he wasn't. I was disappointed in Bam. Nobody, I don't think many people talked about that, but Bam should have. He's the guy for me that could have took over and did more. So and then who else was it? Victor Oladipo was out and the unknown guys. Not that I hate to say it like that. We know what you're talking about, but the unknown guys, Gabe Vincent and
Don't say the unknown guys, the no names.
the groupies, the Heatles, the rest of the Heat guys, they were stepping up and doing their part. But it's like your 20 points are great, but it's Jimmy's 30, your 20 compared to their 30 and 35, and the drop off is going to be like 18.
Yep.
It's not enough. So
Nope.
yeah,
I don't know.
they have to figure it
He
out.
said he got in contact with his feelings. He's in his emo era.
Hmm, hmm.
He's ready to go this season
Yeah, he's
with
in touch.
his fake eyebrow piercings and lip piercings.
I think this is his version of Mamba mentality, and he's just channeling and funneling all those emotions for the season. I think that's what he's doing. Is
When
he's
Kobe came
morphed it.
back, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? We didn't get Dame. Y'all being petty. All right, cool. I'm gonna take it out on all y'all. That's
Hey,
his
they're gonna
version of
paint him
this.
as the villain one way or another. The way people like discredit Jimmy continually is insane to me.
Hmm.
So yeah, maybe this is new version Jimmy Butler no longer cares. Shut it down.
I'm interested though to see how he. What is his media talk going to be like this season? Like, how is he going to handle all these interviews and the pregame, postgame stuff? How does he handle that? Like, I want to know. Like,
I
so.
just think he's gonna have some fun with it. He
Hmm.
reminds me different personality but same response style almost as like a Marshawn Lynch, where he's like, I'm just trolling you and you don't even pick up that this is what's happening.
Hmm.
Like I'm just gonna have fun and you're gonna continue to take me seriously and I'm laughing in my head about what's happening right
I think that's fair. I like that. And I think Marshawn, he has different personality, but Marshawn was definitely aware of what he was doing. I think some people were
now.
like,
Oh, he was
he,
very aware.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, the people were like, is he serious? Like, is he really this stubborn? And is he really like this? Like, well, he is, but he's intentional about doing this. It's entire game.
Yep. And then I remembered it started trickling over to the NBA and they're remember watching an interview with Westbrook and he was talking to him. He's like, I like you. I like you. I don't like you. I'll answer your question. And I was like, geez, okay. Um, but I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Gotta have fun with
Yeah.
it. If they're gonna
I
make you
enjoy
do
it.
it, you might as well have fun.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I think he has the right perspective of it. Because I think at some point you do get sick of it. Like, where y'all asking me these terrible questions. Like KD, he's like, bro, y'all ask me the most stupid questions. Like, why are we here? Did you watch the game? We watched the same game, first off. Were you sleeping in the back or something? Because these are like the dumbest questions to come up with. And I'm just like, you're right, though. Like,
Or
mm.
when was it Giannis that like snapped on the reporter and was like, "Did you wake up this morning expecting to fail at your job?" Like,
Oh,
why?
yeah.
Why are we having this conversation? Clearly, this was not what I wanted to happen. Like,
Yeah.
they do ask some dumb questions.
I think there's some level of they don't think enough. I think there's a level of educated training that they have, and they just kind of like regurgitate the same stuff over and over. But they don't think to be like, maybe this isn't a good question to ask. Maybe I should just take one step further and ask this question instead.
Yeah,
And I think they just kind of have this regurgitated thought process of let me ask this question. Make sure these are the follow up questions you ask during games. And they all go by the same playbook. This is the question you asked before a game. You ask
yep,
this during the halftime. You ask this during this situation. They just lost. You ask these. And I'm just like, how do we get the same cuts every single game?
every game. And then they like act turned off when a player's annoyed by the question. You
Hmm.
ask them this the last 10 games in a row and you expect their answer to change. It's not.
Yeah. Especially if you losing and you getting frustrated or things aren't going your way. How do you feel about not playing? What do you think I feel about not playing? Like, yo, calm down. It's like, bruh,
You
think.
lost X amount of games in a row. Like, what's going through your mind right now?
I want to win. Stop losing. Like, it's only one or the other. So
Exactly.
it's just it's now that I don't like it's weird to think about it. I'm in the media space and I think about stuff like this all the time. Like, am I regurgitating the same things over and over? Am I kind of stuck in this hamster wheel? So when I listen to interviews now, I'm like, that's a good question. How can I integrate that type of thing in my stuff now? So I'm trying to find like the masters of it, like Craig Sager, a G. Like I think he should come back to life and just school me on that art and I'll be a G like him. You feel me? Just
Yeah.
do my whole part. So, but he's great. And Doris Burke, she's amazing.
Hmm.
But just people that question, they ask questions that make you think more. Like Greg Popovich, him and Craig Sagan and Greg Popovich were the funniest thing. Period. Like it was hilarious when they got together. But Pop knew he would have a good question coming, and Craig knew that he had like a counter for his question. So it's like a low key chess match of communication between those two. And they will tap dance around it, and it's like, I'm gonna go back and watch that tonight. Like, I'm gonna sit back and
Go
like,
watch their old interviews.
yes, I'm gonna go back and watch
Hey,
that now.
sometimes I do that too. Go back, watch old press conferences, watch old interviews, pick up on a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. So I just got some homework for myself tonight. But talk about the Warriors.
The Warriors.
How you feel about them?
The Warriors are the Warriors. Like, I don't, there are very few seasons unless something happens and people are injured, which we've seen. Steph Curry's dealt with a lot of injuries. Klay Thompson's dealt with a lot of injuries. Chris Paul's getting old. Green's getting old. Steve Kerr's getting old. Uh, right? And I still would never count out the Warriors.
Hmm.
As long as they can stay healthy, we still have the Splash Bros, right? Like, and you have Chris Paul, you have Green, who will step up when he needs to step up. He's a great
Hmm.
role player, in my opinion. You adding the addition of Chris Paul, who arguably is, I won't say one of the greatest point guards to ever play basketball, but one of the most consistent for the longevity of his career. So
Hmm.
you know what to expect out of him. I don't know if there's a curse around him winning a championship because then they might want to. They might be a little worried. I take it as since he never came to the Lakers, this is the NBA's karma. But I think they'll be fine. I think they'll. I don't know if they'll win the West this season. Like we talked about the Suns, Denver's still a contender. Fingers crossed for the Lakers. And then we'll see if the Kings can pick up from where they were last season, which was
Hmm.
incredible
Hmm.
um, compared to how they've been the last decade and a half.
Yeah.
I think the Warriors are always going to be a team you have to include in the conversation, at least for now.
Oh yeah. And until Steph and Clay and Draymond are done, I'm not counting them out.
You can't. It would be dumb to count them out.
Yeah. Now, I get it that they're aging, but they're not aged up. Like it's not like Chris Paul over the hill. Like they're not done yet.
That part. They have
So
experience, which I think a lot of these younger teams don't have as much of. I feel like it's kind of spreading out, like the experience is spreading out.
mhm.
But they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned about them. And I think that you'll start to see a little bit more of the pre KD Warriors, just a little bit of that. It'll be a remix of that for sure, but they're all healthy. Well, Draymond, ankle, but besides that, they're healthy enough. He'll be fine. And I think Chris Paul will be a great fit. Because Steve Kerr said this, Curry said this, it gives us a change of pace. They kind of
Mhm.
got predictable within themselves of what we're doing, and their offense to the others. They finally started to catch up to the offense
Picked
some.
up the game.
Yeah. And so now Chris Paul gives them a change of pace where it's like we haven't seen Steph Curry be a two guard since like Monte Ellis years. Like this is like Mark Jackson in them years. So now you might see Steph Curry for an entire quarter operate as an old school two and not bring the ball down the court. He's never had this since then. Like Steph Curry has never had this. Like Draymond Green, Sean Livingston, Iggy, cool, but they're not Chris Paul. Like Chris Paul can run the offense. So
Oh yeah.
it's different, man. And like none of them can score the way Chris Paul can. Like give Chris Paul a quarter, like healthy and like, oh, I can go. Cool. None of the other three guys
Make
can
the
do that.
space for him. He'll take
Yeah.
advantage.
So I think the Warriors are going to be good. Um, I think they'll definitely surprise people with how effortlessly they fit in. I don't think it's gonna be a hard transition. Like it's
Out of
game
all
five.
the trades, the Warriors are the least of my concern, and the team
Yeah,
of least of my concern. They'll be
yeah.
fine.
I think they still need to get a big. Um, that'll help them out some. I like Loon. I really like Loon. Who he's a really solid piece. But I think they still need another big to help out with the Joker, Embiid, size challenge. I won't say issue, challenge. Um,
Challenge.
yeah.
How you
So,
want to word that?
because like Draymond is going to do his thing,
Always.
but 6'7" can only do so much, man. Like it's I respect the heck out of Draymond. He's a great defender, but I still would love to have another big just to solidify those matchups.
Which is crazy to say 6'7" can only do so much. Like when you hear it that way, you're like, okay, but true, true,
Yeah,
fair,
he's a great defender. So I'm not trying to knock him, but it's like at some point it's turnover and shoot. Like
right?
it's Tony Allen was great, but there's only one Tony Allen for a reason. Like he could lock up guys taller than him, but
Not
it
everyone
gets to a point. Yeah, not
consistent.
everybody can do that. So respect the hell out of Draymond, but I wouldn't want to sit here and put that on him in year whatever this is, at age whatever this is, to be like, yeah, go out and do the same thing you've been doing the past 10 years. Go do that. Like, no, bro, let's ease you up to let
Need
you be
some help.
maximum sometimes. Give him some help, just a little bit. Like Loon is great too, but let's help you out too. Like let's give some a third option here to say, hey, you're gonna be our lob threat, you're gonna be our pick and roll guy, and on defense, you bang with them down low. So Draymond can be. I think Draymond's a better off the ball player than he is on ball. So why not let him be greater in that role to where you can thrive and like maximize your total defense. So I'm not worried about him, but I think that's the biggest issue they need to address now is getting that third big.
We'll see what happens. They still have a little bit of time to get somebody. A lot of
Yeah,
people.
they got a couple months, couple
Yeah, I'm
months.
like a lot of bit of time. You don't want to wait until halfway through the season to figure it out.
Yeah, the sooner the better because you want to have that meshing point and get everybody acclimated. So playoff times, you
I took a
just
break.
just Warriors ball all the way through. So, um,
I'm also interested to see what happens with the Grizzlies this year. Like,
mhm.
how does John Morant come back? They lost Brooks, which fine. But they were like such high contenders, and it just seems like they're starting off this season crashing and burning. Like it's going to be. How do I want to say this? watching what happens and how they respond will send a message for the rest of a lot of their careers.
Mm.
Like, can John Morant come back from last season? Already starting with the 25 game
Yeah.
suspension.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does he respond? Does he keep doing the same stuff? Does he learn his lesson? Does he step up to the pressure because he knows everyone's going to be watching him when he comes back? We'll
Mm-hmm.
see. That's one of my
Yeah.
I want to keep an eye on this season.
Yeah. I think I don't say the season's done, but I
Not
don't see them
so.
as contenders at all. Like it's 25 games without your best player, and you kind of redone the roster.
Yep.
So it's like you lost a key piece, your best or second best defender, depending on how people see him, whatever. I'm not
Right.
trying to debate that. Um, but you add D Rose. Is Jones still there?
I'm not sure. I think so.
I I think I think he's gone. I'm not sure. But Derrick
Um, what were you saying? Sorry.
not saying Derrick Rose is going to fill in for that spot, and he still has to kind of like get adjusted to the offense and feel for his game and the Grizzlies game and how much of a mentor versus a hooper is he going to be. It's kind of like the point he's at in his career. Like we don't know if he can still carry like he. Well, Christian can't carry like he used to, but like
No.
at least Timberwolves, Derrick Rose. Yeah.
They still
So
Derek Rose.
that's my
Still
boy
Derek
too.
Rose.
I love him.
Um, yeah, I'm just looking out for that one. We'll see what happens with John Morant.
I think my team, less of a team, more of the player. I'm an Ant Man guy. I really like Ant. So I'm interested to see how quickly we can trade him to get him to a better team because that team is terrible. Like I don't know what they thought thinking Cat and Gobert can coexist. Like this isn't 2008 where you got to deal with Andrew Bynum and Paul Gasol and KG and Perk. This isn't no. This isn't Shaq and Kobe Lakers where you have to have two bigs. Like stop doing that. What went through your brain to say Gobert could fit? Must have been some good whatever he was smoking because that's the only justification you have because we don't do 2 7 footers unless both of them can shoot like that and one of them can't. So
It was a go
yeah,
by the name, not build the team.
that's the best idea I can think of because that was a terrible move.
Like, sounds good. It'll bring in people to watch. Not how is this fitting into what we already have?
Bringing in who to watch? Who like five more people to watch because he's an all star? Like
They were buying the name, not building the team. They thought it would help. They thought. We'll see.
whoever okayed that needs to get their basketball license checked because that wasn't the smartest move. And I don't know. I really don't understand. Like some moves I kind of like question, but that's when I like question the person and their basketball IQ. Like, were you even thinking
Yeah.
of a fit with that, or you just strictly like, oh, you looked at his resume, like, oh, he's an all star, he's won defensive player of the year. Yeah, let's throw him on the team. Not
That's
thinking about his offense
what
at
they
all.
did. That's
Yeah,
exactly what they did. They
and
were
he
like,
needs to be
"Hey,
fired.
this sounds good. Let's go ahead and add him."
So let's add him and trade Ant to a better team because I want to see my boy thrive somewhere else.
Where would
Because
you want to see him go?
besides the Celtics, uh, that'd be a terrible fit, honestly. But where would I like to see Ant? Besides the Lakers, I don't want to see him on the Lakers at all. Um, I don't know. I haven't given a thought. I haven't thought that deep into it.
You're
But
like just not there.
yeah, yeah, the Heat. I think the Heat would be a great fit for. I like that.
Oh man, I was
I
really
think
rooting for them last year. Man, they upset me so much.
I think that was a lot of people's darling child pick. It's just like, come on, Miami, you can
Like,
do
if it
it.
can't be the Lakers, I don't want it to be anyone else in the West. I mean, yeah, for the most part, I don't want it to be anyone else in the West, and it sure can't be the Celtics. So I'm gonna go for my. All
No,
right,
it's fine. It's fine.
I no, the no. It's like when I first moved to Texas, I moved to Austin. Me and my dad are big USC fans. Victory, fight on, all that, right?
Hmm.
And my dad looks at me as he's like dropping me off and he goes, I hope you have fun. Have a great adventure. But I have two rules for when you come to visit. Don't bring a cowboy hat and none of that god awful burnt orange. That is how I feel about the Celtics. The way my
Oh
dad
man.
hasn't gotten over Vince Young to the point we can't even go to the steakhouse is how I feel about the Celtics when I think about my Lakers. It just personally feel pride when they lose. Like I'm on
Mm,
the team. Just
mm, mm,
a little bit. Just a little bit.
mm. So how'd you feel in 2008? Did you enjoy that year? That was a great year for you, right?
No, it was a terrible year. We came back, won a few championships after that.
It's true. It's true. You did.
Did it back to back a little bit.
It's okay because we got ours in. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Came back in 2020, won another one. So I think
I mean,
Celtics
you
have one,
guys,
right? Celtics still have one more than Lakers, I think, though. Right? It's one
after
more.
this year, we'll fix that after this year. It's all good.
No, currently it's only one more, I think. Celtics have one more championship, I think.
Yeah, but we're gonna add to that after this season. It's all good.
I don't believe that.
It's definitely gonna be y'all, so we're not worried about that.
Probably not.
Okay, then. So
Because I love Anthony Davis. I think he's an incredible player. I think he works really hard. What do we need to do to fix this man's injury issues? Like, he'll be by himself on the court and roll an ankle. And I don't know, like, is it a nutrition thing? Is it a vitamin thing? Is it just because of his measurements he's more injury prone? I need I need him to be healthy. A
mhm.
healthy Anthony Davis, Lakers win the championship.
I still question that, to be honest with you. Part of the reason why I haven't been sold on Anthony Davis is
He's injured every other game.
not even that. There were times when he was healthy, and it's like, bro, why aren't you killing? Like, why aren't you dropping 30 and 15 every night? LeBron has been begging this man. He's been begging him, take the reins. Here are the keys. It's your car. Take this Corvette, take this Lamb. I don't care, bro. It's yours. I don't want it anymore. He doesn't take
You
it.
just need to hire me. We'll figure it out. We'll get it together.
Call her. Call her.
Oh,
Do you
right.
think?
Like call up the Lakers. I can help you. Trust me.
I know a girl. Come on, 80. I got somebody right here for you. Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Um,
I just can't trust him all the way because of that. He just
that's fair.
it mm,
No, that's fair. I give you that. I give you that. He's inconsistent.
very. I'm not saying this as someone who dislikes him. I
No,
just don't trust his game consistently.
I'm not disagreeing. I just need him to not. I need him to go 10 games without being injured consecutively.
Has he ever played a full season? I think he
Oh,
might have had one where he was
oh,
like over 70.
over 70, yeah, but I don't think he's played a full season.
No. So
Maybe he's like rookie year.
that's sad. That's the thought we have. I think one year he had in New Orleans where we found like, oh, he's finally played X amount of games.
What happens?
And it's after that was it. So
It's really disappointing, and I'm sure for him it's like extremely frustrating. No one's asking to be injured, right? Like
yeah.
it's not like he doesn't want to play,
Yeah.
but to also deal with, I mean, from a mental point, like the anxiety of like I'm constantly getting injured.
Hmm.
Am I going to get injured again? It's Derek Carr's biggest problem. He had back-to-back major injuries and hasn't played the same since.
Yes, it's tough, man. But if okay.
It's mental for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yo, just relax a little bit, okay? I know you feeling anxious right now. You're feeling a little depressed or a little overwhelmed because that goal you're going after feels so big and it's so overwhelming and so daunting that it's just like there's no way I can get there. That's probably the reason you haven't started, and that's probably the reason why you're feeling inconsistent about it. But I'm gonna help you out here. Okay, if you haven't started, then just start. I don't care what your excuses are. Figure out a way to just start and just do it. Next is just to keep making progress. Add one more thing every day to get better at it. Get 1% better. But while you're on this journey of self-improvement and getting better, get you a shirt as a reminder that progress is the only goal. How much are you gonna consider trading him? Like, is that a thought for you at all, or are you just gonna write it out?
If they trade him, I don't think I'd be heartbroken about it. I wouldn't be sad about it. As long as they can do something better. Like that's the issue with the Lakers, and that's consecutive for as long as I've been alive and a Laker fan, is I can't always trust them to make the right moves. So I can see them trading AD and not getting anyone better than AD to replace him. I will forever think about when Kobe took, what was it, the $300 million contract, and they asked him, like, you don't have any help on this team. Why would you take this contract? And his response was something along the lines of, if the owners are dumb enough to give me that money, I'm going to take it because I don't trust what they would do with it if I didn't.
I remember that.
So, like, that is how I feel about the Lakers. So I would love to be like, yeah, we could trade him and upgrade. I don't trust that. I don't believe that. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows, right? They leave it up
Mm-hmm.
in the air. So we'll see. We'll see.
But if it's your call, they say, "Hey, Ashley, do we trade him? Do we keep him?"
Who do they get to replace him?
But they're not even gonna. Okay, but they're asking you, do we even consider the trade options?
That's what I'm saying. Is there a better option? Right now, thinking about the league, thinking about who would work and mesh and fit with the Lakers, who's the better option?
It depends on your direction, honestly. Are
They
you going
they're
to are
they're
you
going to
going to keep LeBron and maintain
see it becomes a
his
whole.
team?
Are we taking apart the team or just trading AD? Because if you're keeping LeBron, you got to have someone who's going to take some of the weight off of LeBron because he's pushing 40.
Hmm.
Like he's dealing again more injuries, which he's never dealt with in his career. He's getting older. People are picking up on his game. So you need someone who's going to be able to lead, help him lead, help take some of the pressure off, help carry that weight.
Hmm.
But you also still need it to be a big. So who are like, is there really a better option? I'm not sure.
I was thinking that. So what if you don't trade AD big for big, but you trade him for a guard or a wing, and you just get another big that can mesh with LeBron's style? So you upgrade or equalize with talent wise, not for
What
position, but just for
you're saying?
talent. Yeah.
Potentially. I mean, like I said, if they trade AD, it's not the end of the world.
Hmm.
Let go. Thanks for the championship in 2020. Good luck with your career.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. As much of a Laker fan as I am, I'm not really married to any of them. Like I don't have that connection like back in the day when they like traded Shaq and I cried in my room for 2 days. I don't feel that way anymore about any of them. I'm like, y'all can all go. Let's just win. Whatever we gotta do. So yeah, it's very different than the Hollywood Lakers that I was very attached to.
Yeah. I think part of that too is because you move around so much that it's hard to get that level of attachment. Like,
Well, no, I don't even think I think they move around so much, right?
yeah, that's
Like,
the thing.
oh yeah, I thought you said me. I was like, I don't care about that.
Oh no.
But yeah, the roster's constantly changing. They're constantly making adjustments. You're just kind of like the. I guess I won't. Yeah, like the loyalty that there used to be to teams is more far and few,
Yeah.
and that's fine. But it makes it you're either loyal to the team or you're loyal to the player. You can't really be loyal to both anymore.
Yeah. It's in a tough spot. So it is like you said, like if I'm a Celtics fan all day, they trade Jason Tatum, it's tough, but let's go
Fine,
Celtics. You know,
as long as
like
they make a better move. As long
yeah,
as they make a better move. Because then there'd be those moments where you're like, what are you doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing?
yeah.
But it's a business.
Luckily, luckily we have better front office than you guys, so we're in a good position. We're in a good spot.
For the most
Um,
part.
well, I can't completely say that anymore because we just had a whole coaching change a couple years ago. Don't still know what happened behind that, but
Yeah, I've heard a lot of rumors. Lots and lots of rumors. So,
You have to tell me off here because I am interested. I've heard some things, but I don't give a lot of weight to those things. But you
yeah,
have more
until the
intel.
people themselves speak, you never know what the truth is. But
Yeah,
I think there's probably a lot of truth to it. I
I
think
wouldn't rule it
it's
out.
bad. You know, it's bad when Matt Barnes is talking a lot of mess and then comes back and decides he was very wrong and apologizes publicly.
He changed his tone real quick. He was like, "Man, da 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 da." Hold on.
Oh,
Can I? Excuse me.
right. Like, ran in the chat. I want to change my opinion. So,
Yeah. Remember that what I said before? Just forget all that stuff. That's not it. This is what I feel now. So when I
yep,
saw that, I was like, "Ooh, ooh,"
it
because
got real.
his whole demeanor in that second video was like he was like excuse me like the bad kid that finally get in trouble. The mama come in the room. He was like yeah um
Yeah.
it's different. Whatever what happened back there is different. So forget that first video. I'm sorry, but oof, I do want to find out the truth just because it seems so messy. But I feel like it's true. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think they could have handled things a little differently,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
a little bit more discreet and professional. And I know that they had said they had known for months about what was going on. Um, so I don't really love the way that they released even what they did, but it was
Hmm.
definitely messy. It was definitely messy.
Yeah, that's the. It wasn't professional to
No.
say the least. So that's kind of I think that's what bothered me at first. Because of course we don't have the details, but it's like why conduct it that way? Like why did you release it that way? Why did you handle it that way? Like that's not the way you could have handled it. But once again, depending on what the truth is, I can kind of understand. Like it's
What I thought
maybe.
was the most interesting part was how they kept saying they released it that way to protect the women of the organization.
Yeah.
And really, all it did was land every woman in the organization with death threats. Because I
Hmm.
remember at the time, I think there was only like four women that worked in the entire Celtics race. So you're saying it's a woman in the. I can Google them real quick. There's only four of them. And that's
Hmm.
exactly what people did. So it made it even more messy.
Hmm. I don't think they thought it through, but this
Yeah.
that's really why I say we need to have more women in higher positions and more women in general overall in these positions. Because she would have said, "Hold on, guys, I get what you're trying to do, but
This
this
ain't.
is this is the actual way you need to do this because that's dumb, and this is what you should do." So, man, that was terrible. But we're still gonna redeem ourselves win the championship, so it's all good.
Maybe. Maybe.
You know,
Not this
we
year, but
will.
maybe one day.
We will. But one team I do want to see do. I'm like a low key fan of this team, and I wish them well. It's OKC. Like I'm excited to see what they can do, and how all the young pieces mesh. They got Shea, they got Chet, they got Jalen Williams, they got Giddy. I feel like they're an interesting team to kind of mesh together and culminate to a young nucleus to take the next step.
Are they the youngest team in the West? Probably, huh?
I feel
Youngest.
like they are. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised.
That'll be fun to watch.
Just
That'll be
give them
fun.
like a good 2 years maybe, and they can
Yep.
finally like consistently make the playoffs type of team, and they start to mesh together, and then they get that one piece that they're missing to finally put them over the edge. I hope they take the Warriors route, and they have the core of like Shea, Giddy, and Chet, let's say, or Jalen, like the
All
core
together.
four. They keep them together, and you bring in an Iggy or you bring in a Sean that kind of like takes them over the hump to get them to be the championship caliber team or like the
Form a little bit.
competitive team. Yeah, so I hope that's the route they take rather than the OKC way with trading James Harden and you're there, trade him away, and then you bring in replacements that aren't James Harden and they don't fit as well, and you still keep trying to trace for James Harden and you don't get James Harden at all. So I hope they don't do that. Let's learn from my past.
That's someone else I wish well this season, James Harden.
Lessons hard.
Like I just hope he finds his footing at some point. Um, Like, obviously, every great player doesn't get to win a championship. Look at Charles Barkley. But like, man, yeah, we'll go with that. Just man. I hope he has a better situation, I guess, here because he's fighting
Yeah.
for his life in these streets. Uh,
I hate what happened to him. But I think that I don't know if he handled it the best way, or is handling it the best way. I think that what has happened is not uncommon. It's definitely not the first time it's happened, but I think it's the first time we've been this. It's been this public, and we're this aware about it.
yeah,
So
times are changing. Like, we're getting way more transparency on the business side, the like the icky side of it. Uh,
mhm, mhm.
but it is fun to watch. I
Oh
like
yeah,
the drama. I like the mess. It's like one big reality TV show. Uh,
yeah.
the NBA is getting messy.
I told my friend that it's like, bro, I don't do reality TV. I don't do the housewives stuff, and I was like,
I don't do the
I
housewives.
do watch NBA basketball, so I don't do the fake stuff. Like I do like this is my mess. Like this is the only level of mess that I like to have. Anything outside of that, don't bring it to me.
I saw some girl on TikTok. She was talking about it. She's like, men love to say that girls are messy because they watch reality TV. Like men don't be on ESPN Sports Center every day. So all it is gossip and drama. It is no different. Waiting for the interviews, waiting for the reunions, aka the press conference, wait right there to be in all the mess and the drama and the messy right along the way. It's the same thing.
It's it's
It's the same thing.
it's very similar. It's they're bro. Okay, it's apples and oranges. They're both fruit. They're both fruit, but it's one's apple and one's orange. It's similar. It's not the same. It's,
One is messy drama. Hey, and according to the players, there's a script anyways on who wins the season. So
I go back and forth if that's true or not. I don't know.
I don't think that there is a set script on who wins and who loses. I do think that refs intentionally make calls to make games closer or more profitable.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Especially when you're looking at like the NBA, you can buy packages to games to watch the last 3 minutes of a game. Why am I going to watch the last 3 minutes if it's a blowout? So, so people pay that money to watch the last 3 minutes. Let's make it as close as possible.
Yeah.
That's what I think is happening. I mean, the same thing's happening in the NFL. The Chiefs are getting by a string because Taylor Swift fans are funding them at this point. I've been watching these games like, did they make that call? Did they really just are we here? But it's the same thing. It's a like I've said before, it's a business. So whatever brings in the most money.
Yeah. So I definitely believe that. As far as who wins I remember some year, I think it was 2 years ago. There was like an actual like it looked like a manuscript of how the Lakers win a championship. And I'm like, bro, come on now. There's no way. There is literally no way the league is that dumb to make it that obvious to put it out there to say yes. We put a manuscript together to make sure the Lakers win a championship. They had like the championship,
I
the
remember.
the Celtics versus Lakers in the finals. They had the conference finals. I was like, bro, there's no way. There's
Yep.
no way. That no. And if this plays out, that's a terrible look for the league because now you didn't ruin the past however many years of the
Everything.
league now.
I don't think it's that detailed, but they're definitely making moves to make some more money.
Yeah.
I don't think any of that is by surprise a lot of times.
So I think that there's a level of this team looks better than this team making to the situation, whether it's the finals or conference finals or whatever. So they will kind of nudge to say, hey, we'd rather have Miami over the Bucks, just far as geographically, or we'd rather have the Warriors over the Kings because of Steph Curry versus De'Aaron Fox, or
Yep.
whatever situation it is.
Or they want to create the heroes and the villains. So man, this redemption story, this recovery story, this like he's the villain and now he's being reformed story. And then you see the stuff with like when there's natural disasters and then all of a sudden that season the team of the city that had the natural disaster wins the championship.
Lakers. Lakers.
That never happened to the Lakers. Thank you very much. There's not natural disasters in LA. Not like that.
They didn't have an incident that happened that year that they won.
2020?
Hmm. So nothing happened 2020. Like nothing happened
I
at
mean,
all.
the pandemic,
So
Manny
no.
Hornets, aliens being confirmed, a presidential election. There was a lot that happened in 2020.
So no former Laker that everybody loves in the doors just passed
Oh,
away that year. No, no,
yeah.
no, no.
You know, I would have bought into that more if there wasn't the whole bubble situation. Um, I think because the Lakers were already not very far into the season, but already at the doing really well that season. They weren't at the top, but they were doing really well. Then went into the bubble at number one. Um, and then I think the bubble was a whole different situation,
Yeah,
whole different beast. I yeah, I think if the season would have continued straight, I maybe would have gave that more credit. But I think the bubble itself was its own mess.
yeah. Just to clarify, just trolling you. Anybody
Oh, I
listening?
know, I
Not for you, for listeners. So
know. You think no?
yeah,
Yeah, Kobe. I just blacked that part out. I still refuse to watch the funeral. Or the memorial. I just tend to forget. Not forget, but like I don't want to think about it. It hurts. It
yeah.
hurts. Kobe
That,
sticker.
that was
Up though.
that was tough. But yeah, I don't think that was staged because I don't think LeBron wasn't even a fan of the bubble. Like,
He hated the bubble.
yeah, he don't do
Um,
that.
he said it was harder to play in the bubble than anything else. Because he was missing his family and stuff like that. I remember that was like when Bronny got in trouble too for like posting smoking weed or something. But yeah, LeBron said he hated the bubble. I mean, most of them did, except for Jimmy Butler, who was charging $25 for a cup of coffee. So, with his little coffee.
Yeah, I think him and the Suns loved it the most.
Who, him and who?
The Suns, Phoenix Suns.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I still think it was funny though because they were talking about like the different level of like mentality that you needed because they're
Hmm.
like it's one thing when you go head to head in a game and you leave and you go back home to your home city. They're like, no, you see them in the dining hall. They just drop 30 on you and they looking at you while you're just trying to get your food like post game.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
like, now you have to go back the next day and really go.
Hmm. I think Chris Paul said it. He was like, bro, there was no escape. Like,
Yeah.
you just got punched in the mouth. Dude just dropped 30 on you. Usually you go home to your wife and kids and you kind of forget about it until the next day or whatever. But it's like your total environment is they just dropped 30. Until you can drop that 30 and you get that dub to redeem yourself, that's literally on replay until the next game starts. That's all you can think about. That's all you're going to hear about. That's all you're going to see. You go
Yeah.
to social media, that's all you're going to see. Go to TV. Oh, they just did Chris Paul. They just did Paul George. Lord have mercy. Oof. His bubble experience had to be the worst. But
That's
that's all you had on replay. It's like whatever that moment was, you had to replay it over and over again. There was no escaping
and,
that.
yeah. And they had lied to him too. They told him they would be able to go to the parks. They told him at one point their families could come, all that kind of stuff. None of that happened. None of it
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
They were stuck in those hotel rooms for months, like 2 months or something like that.
yeah. I think so.
Unless
Yes.
you ended up at the strip club for the wings. Yep.
Oh man, lemon pepper Lou. Lord have mercy.
Woo! It's like they have the best wings.
But I've heard from people from that area that's like, yeah, you like. I know, I understand the perception of it, but if you're from this area, you literally do go there for the wings. Like
Oh,
that's
I
like a
know.
thing.
I know. I have friends who have completely confirmed it.
Yeah.
It has the best wings.
Hmm.
It was just the way that he worded it, the way that he like. And then you had Kyrie Irving throwing his like massive birthday party for his sister.
Hmm.
That was the whole thing, and then ended up, I think, catching COVID from it.
Mm-hmm.
That
That was
was
a
just,
messy time. That was a messy
it was
time.
just a mess.
Yeah.
What a time! What a time!
It doesn't feel like 3 years ago, but it was
The way
creeping
I
up on.
lived for the Dream Team Sundays, followed by like brand new episodes of Insecure, that got me through a solid 4 weeks of COVID. It was just like on Sunday, we're gonna watch the documentary, then we're gonna watch Insecure, and everything is gonna be.
Yeah.
We made like events of it. We had little watch parties with our like quarantine crew,
Mm.
living for the Sunday nights. Like we had something to do on Monday morning. Where were we going? Nowhere. To the couch. Turn on Skype or Face Zoom.
Oh man. What a time. What a time. But I'm glad we're out of that. Well, hopefully we're done with that and it's not coming back. But we'll see.
We'll see.
Never know what the people upstairs over there got planned. But um,
World is definitely getting crazy. It's been crazy, but it's been crazier.
yeah. Anything else for the season?
No, I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a fun season. There are a lot of good off-season shakeups. Um, building on some already great teams from last year. I think it'll be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be fun to watch. I know we say this every year, but I really just hope for a healthy season. Like let's get no KD injuries, no Book,
Nobody like
no Bill. Like
it
let's
sucks. It sucks.
yeah. I understand injuries are part of the game. I understand that we're not gonna have that, but let's not have like the dramatic ones. Like
The
roll
big one.
ankle, miss 2 weeks.
Season-ending games.
Let's
The
not have that. Like just somehow let's have a season where no one has the month-long injuries, no one has the season-ending injuries. Some are miraculous way, like Chess Gray just got injured. Let's not have that, and let's stay healthy, ball out, best team wins. Let's have that this year because you've seen the firepower of the Suns. You're seeing the dynamic duo of Dame and Greek Freak, and you're seeing the Celtics with the big three of JT, JB, and Drew, the triple J's of the Celtics. Um, y'all over there doing whatever y'all do with LeBron, and
whatever
you have to
LeBron decides to do.
whatever he says is
It's his team.
he runs it basically. Then you got the Warriors trying to capture that magic just one more time to get CP his ring. So um, interesting year. It's a lot of storylines to weave. The NBA loves their stories. We're gonna see which one they pick on and
It's true.
capitalize with and highlight the most. But as long as they have the script written with the Celtics to win, we're good. You feel me? BeBall Jones podcast and all of its members will be happy. Cough, cough, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So
Sorry, no.
yeah,
Do not
but
subscribe. Do not subscribe to the Celtics winning.
that is fine. You don't have to subscribe to the Celtics winning, but you do have to subscribe to this podcast. You have to subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you're on Spotify, Apple, Google, anywhere else, like if you listen to this right now, just hit subscribe wherever at. I don't care. If you're watching this, it's got to be YouTube because there's nowhere else available. Just do your thing on YouTube and subscribe. Like this video, share it with a friend, compadre, homie, little shawty, whoever you got around you. Just share it with them. Make sure that you guys check us out on TikTok. I have a TikTok account over there. I almost forgot what it's called. A TikTok account. Do your thing over there too. Don't laugh at me. Follow her. She's pretty great too. AB mentality all over the socials. Just do that. It's the same thing. Same thing for me. I'm BeBall Jones everywhere. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on TikTok. Or X. Sorry, Elon. Do you have Threads?
No.
I got Threads, so forget about her. Just follow me on Threads. And I think that's it as far as little housekeeping things. Oh, every Friday, Hoop Gems. Just like you guys don't understand how important the mental game is. If you can figure out like a small little nugget mentally, that can literally change your life and change your game. Like just that people talk about confidence, but they don't really break it down to an extent the way that we do. They talk about discipline, but you get a new perspective with it, with the way we talk about it. And just reframing or changing your perspective for how you see things can literally change your life. Like if you change perspective, you can change your life. So that's what Hoop Gems is about, man. Sprinkling in a little motivation, a little inspiration in there time to time, you feel me? But overall, man, just quick little 5-minute nuggets, man. That's all you need. Just 5 minutes. Just share that with me. That's all I'm asking. So that's it, man. Hoop Gems on every Friday. Check that out. Listen to it. It'll change your life. Got some, like, bro, some of the stuff I would go back and listen to, I'm like, bro, that was nasty.
Nuggets.
Just small nuggets, man. It's not even like a full entree. It's like appetizer type stuff. It's like a side. Like it's dope, man. So, but check that out every Friday. If not, then check it out the next day. Like do it on Saturday instead. I don't care. Just listen to it or watch it. Or do both. It's a better idea. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. It's gonna be a fun season. New co-host here, lovely co-host. It's gonna be a fun time. And I think that's it. You got anything else you want to throw in there?
No, I'm excited for the season. I'm excited to see what happens.
All right, well, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. See you next week.